Hello YouTube, Jeff Steele here. Today we're going to talk about 5 expensive things that you should never spend your hard-earned money on anytime in your life. Let's start with number 1, RVs and or campers. Before I go into that, let me first say all of these items that I have on this list, I have reliability, validity, and credibility on these items because I grew up with these items in and around them and have personally or have close friends who have worked in the industries of these items. Number 1, RVs or campers. Number 1 on this topic for RVs and campers is I have never heard or known of a camper or RV that did not eventually start leaking. When they start leaking, not only are you dealing with the leak itself, you're also dealing with mold, mildew. Those issues are ongoing. For those very reasons alone, that should be enough reason for you not to ever buy a camper or an RV. Most of the time when people purchase them, they do nothing but plummet in value. The only exceptions would be the Airstream brand, which are ultra expensive, high end, the top of the market. You're going to spend 70 or 80 grand for the cheapest models that they have alone, and they're campers, pull behinds. Those are about the toughest out there. The majority of the population cannot afford that, and that's just not what they buy. Most people go camping once or twice a year, and the rest of the time the camper or RV sits in storage, and you're paying not only your payment on your RV or your camper that you bought, then you're also paying a monthly storage fee. Something of note, and people might say, well, I bought a brand new camper or RV or Winnebago, and it's got a lifetime warranty. Well, that's great and all, but here's what you need to know about a lifetime warranty. That warranty is only covering you for the life of the company. If the company goes bankrupt, out of business, your warranty's no good. So remember that. Number 2 on the list would be boats. They say in regards to a billionaire, the greatest day in a billionaire's life is the day he buys his or her first yacht. They say the second best day in their life is the day they sell that yacht. Now, I have friends that are career boat mechanics, and they will tell you straight up, never buy a boat. Continuous and endless money pits. No question about it. Mainly because people don't operate boats regularly on a year-round basis. They're very seasonal. When you have mechanical things that are not operated regularly, things go wrong. They go wrong often. Mechanical parts and fluids and such, they seize up. They're made to be in continuous use. Also, water is involved. Anytime we have water involved with things, we're going to have issues. Number 3 on the list was in relation to the boats is Sea-Doos and or jet skis. Same scenario. Most of the time they're sitting in storage. You're paying monthly storage fees. You're also probably making a payment on the boat or the jet ski or Sea-Doo. And they're constantly in and out of the shop, and just a basic yearly service on a boat, a jet ski, or a Sea-Doo is usually upward around average around $500 minimum. That's just the regular annual service. So think about your storage fees. You're paying anywhere from $200 to $500, sometimes up to $1,000 a month just in storage fees for these items. Most homeowners associations or apartment complexes, they're not going to allow you to store a big boat in your yard, in your driveway. They're not going to allow it. So you're going to have to pay storage fees. And just remember, it's seasonal, and even during that season, you're probably only going to use that item a handful of times. Number 4 on the list would be airplanes and or helicopters. Another super high maintenance item. Insurance is extremely high. It's something that's just not really practical, and therefore it's not something you're going to use on a regular basis. You might use it once a month in most people's lives. Now, if you're a mega billionaire and you're flying a couple of days a week and you got mega billions, it would be kind of a luxury purchase at that point. But just know your plane is probably not getting the level of maintenance as a commercial jetliner is getting. Just remember that. And number 5 on the list would be a British or German made vehicle or motorcycle. And number 1 out of those two would be British. Definitely the worst. German's a little bit better, but still on the list. These vehicles are extremely expensive, extremely high maintenance. Parts are hard to come by, and if you can find them, they are super expensive. There is a reason there are specialized shops that specialize in only British vehicles, and then you see a lot of shops specializing in German specific vehicles. It's because they are super complex and becoming ever more that, and people have to specialize in them. The mechanic labor cost on these vehicles probably 2 to 3 times what they would be on regular common vehicles. They're just complex machines, and if they can find parts and can replace it, it's just crazy expensive. What is the solution to this scenario with these items? What can you do? If you really want, and you've been pondering for a very long time on these items and you just can't get them out of your head, how can you get your fix? The solution is to rent them. You just got such an itch, you want to go and take a boat out on the lake. The first thing I would do is I would go through your list of friends, network, your contacts, and just really think, or call them up, see if you know somebody that has one of these items, has a boat. If they do, you might say, well, hey, I'd really like to take your boat out. If I bring it back with a full tank of fuel, would you mind if I took it out for a day or two? In most scenarios, they're probably not going to mind, because it's probably collecting dust in a storage unit anyways. And hey, they might get a free tank of fuel out of it. Or you might say, hey, I can detail your RV or camper if you'd let me take it out for a week's vacation with my family. If I were to damage it or anything, I'd absolutely pay the repair fees. But at least I'll do a thorough cleaning and detailing on it for you. They'll probably let you take it out, because as with the boats, jet skis, and Sea-Doos, they're probably sitting in storage somewhere collecting dust, and they're just making a monthly payment on that. Same thing with airplanes or helicopters. Absolutely, you can rent those as well. The British or German-made vehicles, you can rent them, or what a lot of people do, especially if they have some type of business they can run the expense through, they will lease them for a year or two, have their fun, give it back. Don't have to worry about it. It's really what you need to look at, what you really want, and evaluate how bad you want these things. And usually, after you rent them a time or two, you get your fill, and you've had your fun, and you've had enough. I promise you, if you follow these guidelines, you will absolutely save yourself a ton of time, money, resources, energy, and a whole lot of headaches. Share this video, get the word out, tap the subscribe button. The thumbs up icon really helps the channel out. We're going to continue to keep the content flowing on a variety of topics. We really thank you for watching. Have a great day.